Hey guys, I am sorry about the really long videos that I have been posting lately. It's just that as I have done this more and more, I want to make my review vids and discussion vids very in-depth because I feel like, you know, what topics I'm doing, like seasons of shows or series in general or book series, that is a lot of topics I want to cover, a lot of issues I want to talk about. And usually when I've done that and I split it into one parts and two parts to keep it short, a lot of people will only watch part one, and they won't watch part two, and they won't comment on part two, and you only get things for one, and so it becomes this really uneven thing. So as I've been able to have longer vids up, I have been thinking, alright, now I can do those long series videos where I have to split them up into like 3 or 4 sections for every topic, and sometimes, you know, not really finish it because I'm splitting it up so much. Now I can just do one long video about one topic rather than having a whole bunch of little ones that kind of get lost in the shuffle. But still, I think I can find a way to condense myself even more because I do tend to babble. So I will work on getting these videos down to maybe 20 minutes max. E-readers versus books. And I really have to wonder, why do we have to choose between the two? I mean, I like having both. With stores like Borders going out of business, people have been blaming, you know, the e-reader, e-book market for the stores closing down. And that's honestly just not true. I mean, Borders and Barnes & Nobles, while I love Barnes & Nobles, you know, their stuff is very overly priced. And most of the time when I do buy books, I buy them from Amazon.com. And having an e-reader was something I was kind of reluctant to do for a very long time because I thought, you know, if I buy this, I won't buy books anymore. But it's just simply not true. I mean, the e-reader that I have, the Nook from Barnes & Noble's Nook, I mean, I love it. It's tiny, it's sleek, and really I've gotten a lot of free books because when I first got this, actually, there was a sale that came out on Barnes & Noble's, and basically I have like basically every single Barnes & Noble's classic that I could ever want to read on here for free, and I would have never gotten that without it. And it saves me a lot of space, and mostly what's on here are PDFs of books I already own, so I can travel with them. Because one of the big things that happened to me when I was going to college was I am a bibliophile. So I had bibliophilic separation anxiety. When I was leaving to go to college for the first time, literally I kept panicking because I couldn't have all my books and all my manga with me at all times. And it freaked me out because I wanted to have them there. And that's where this comes in handy, because now I have a place to put all my books that I already own. And that's mostly what I have on here, is books I already own. And when I want to read a book really badly, I buy it. Like, I just bought Lipper Bray's Beauty Queen. This is one of the newest books I've bought. And I just bought and finished, you know, A Clash of Kings from the A Song of Fire and Ice series. Like, having an e-reader has not stopped me from buying books. And I feel like people who have e-readers use them because it's easier to travel with. I mean, my mother, she's a nurse and a teacher, and she has to carry so many things with her, and she loves to read. She loves Mary Higgins Clark books. So she's getting older, and it hurts her back to have to carry so many bags full of stuff. And a hardcover book, which is mostly what she has, and even a thick paperback, is still more weight that she has to carry. Getting her an e-reader just makes it easier for her to travel. You know, I'm in New York City, I'm on the subway, you know, I don't have to worry about losing my page when I'm standing up because I just have one hand to use with this. I can hold my rail. It just works. Does that mean I'm not reading books or buying hardcover books? No, because books I really, really enjoy and series I like, I want them in my hand. Nothing can replace the feel of a good book, and people who love books will always buy them. So I don't think e-readers are to blame for books right now. It has to do with the prices of how much book costs, because honestly, the reason why I buy my books on Amazon is because they're cheaper. And I really feel like some of these books are very overpriced. I mean, for example, even though I love Lipper Bray, this book is $20. This book is $20. This book is only, this book is $20 at Barnes & Noble's. At Borders probably more because they do tend to have a higher pricing and stuff. But that book was $20. You know, I don't just have $20 to run around with. You know, I don't mind putting it out for a writer I like that much. But if to choose between Borders, Barnes & Noble's, and Amazon.com, I'm choosing Amazon.com. It really makes me cringe when I spend money on a book and that book is horrible. So that's my thought on that. But while I'm on this topic of books, let me talk about the whole piracy situation, because people have been talking about people who like download books that they are stealing from writers. Here's the thing about this topic, in my opinion, how I feel about it. When people see this information about these people downloading these books, those people most likely were never going to buy that book. Because most of the books that I have downloaded to read are books I would never go out and pay for. At most, I would go to the library and maybe check it out. But to talk about the library for a second, people often say, like, why not just go to the library? I live in a very urban community, and our library is pretty much a piece of shit. I mean, there is no good books in there, and the system to keeping the books in track doesn't even work, because my best friend in high school basically made a career out of taking library books. For me, a library just isn't an option when I'm home, and either way, you're not getting my money. I would never pay money to read some of the books that I review, like Hush Hush. No, I would never pay for that book. So so you're not losing any money, because I'm not your customer, clientele. You would never get my money to begin with. So that's what I feel that whole piracy thing is. You are basically getting money from people who are interested and will never get it. But for a perfect example, you know, my teacher bought me the Fae Fever book. It's like the book 3 in like the Michaela Lane series, and without knowing, I had downloaded the other ones in the series. But then I read this book, and it's so good. I mean, I can't even do a review of this. It's so good that I don't even care that I have it on this. I want to go and buy the first 2 books in the series, because this book was so good and made so much sense, maybe getting caught right in the middle of it, that I want to go out of my way to spend, you know, $7.99 ironically on the next 2 books each. Because that's what good writing does. Good writing will always make you want to go out and buy the hard copy. When I used to go to school, high school, my mom would give me $20 a week. And I used to go to NYU to take classes, and there was this Barnes & Noble that was there. And I started reading the Kim Harrison The Hollow series, which was like my crack. I read the first book on a whim, and I was hooked. And these books were about $7.99 a piece, and I have a Barnes & Noble's membership card, so I could get 10% off, so it would still be about $7. So my thing was, this $20 was supposed to last me for a week for food, because food is like $4 at the cafeteria to pay $4, so I could afford, you know, to have it for a week. What I would do was I would not eat for a week, because I would finish the book within like a day or 2, depending on how much work I had, and I would want the next book so badly. So that Saturday, I would buy the book, start reading it. That entire week, Monday to that coming Saturday, I would not eat lunch, because I wanted that book. I wanted to have it in my hand, and I wanted it right away. And there was nothing better than having it and holding it and reading and turning the pages from it. And before anyone says anything, I don't have an eating disorder. I just don't like breakfast foods. And after having 13 years of having my father make me either peanut butter and jelly or turkey sandwiches, I just hate lunch. So if I could, I would have dinner for every meal of every day. I like dinner. I like meats and like chicken, and I like hearty food that you get like at dinner. I don't like breakfast foods except bacon and sausage, and I don't like lunch foods. I like the Nook because there are a lot of offers for it, a lot of different things you can get from it. I have the first generation one. The new touch one is nice, but I'm probably not going to get it until like this one stops working or something. But it's great, it's light. I have, you know, over 600 books on here. 600 books on this thing that I can take with me anywhere I go. I'm going to England in a couple of months, and I will not be able to have any of my books that I own with me at all, but I'll have them all here. And as someone with that kind of anxiety about their books, that is great. One of my fears was always when I was a kid, what if the house catches on fire and I lose all my books? So I'm thinking, not about my clothes, not about like my DVDs, what about my books? What about my Tamira Pierce? What am I going to do if that gets burnt down? I have a backup. So when there's a fire, I can grab this and my monkey, and I can get the fuck out now. So this will save my life. You know, it will never replace a book. Never. Books are irreplaceable, but I'm just saying, we went from scrolls to regular books now. The paper will never die.